まり変なこと教えないでください。
どうだ、この文法はマスターできたか？
文法って何？
マジで時間の無駄。
Anya Forja is the knowledge chihuahua. Yo, this episode was really, really good. Like, so really, in a nutshell, this episode was 100% focused on Anya and her taking the test. But we did find out something extremely important. And that is the fact that during a eclipse, like a solar eclipse, she loses her powers. Now, thankfully, solar eclipses don't really happen that often. It's like, I honestly don't know. Like, let's Google it together. Let's see, how often does a solar eclipse occur? So based on Google, there are 2 to 5 solar eclipses each year. Okay, so 2 to 5 times each year, Anya will lose her powers to be able to read minds. So during those 2 to 5 times a year, those are the times that she has to plan to basically just be a normal person, normal kid, depending on when this happens for her. And unfortunately, one of the times that this was going to occur was during the midterms. We found out at the beginning episode that during the midterms, if you place, I think, first, second, might have just been first or second, maybe first, second, and third, you were going to get a Stella Star. And if you failed the test, or if you didn't pass any of the specific subjects, you were going to get a Tornatus Bolt. So that is basically, kind of the stakes that were at stake during this episode. During the episode, a few things occurred. We have Anya at first being extremely not worried, gonna cheat, being very worried about the eclipse. Then we have Lloyd basically trying to tutor her, and then we have the whole entire stuff where Yuri ended up being the one basically coming in to tutor her. And he actually did a very, very good job because he found out he was very resistant at first. He kind of used that as an excuse to come and get closer to Yor, but he ended up finding out that Anya has a lot of love for his sister, so therefore he kind of likes her because she has such high praise and love for Yor, so he can basically, really sympathize with that. So he really did help our girl Anya out quite a bit. And I also really love how Anya called him a study pervert. I thought that was very, very hilarious. I also thought it was hilarious when Bond ate Yor's cookies. I thought that was hilarious as well. Then we see all the daybreak stuff, which is basically Lloyd having zero faith in Anya whatsoever, so therefore he goes to break into the school. We found that there's some other agent named Agent Daybreak, who is the worst spy in the history of spies. He is there to change the scores of 2 students. We find out that one of them is Damien. I don't know who the other student was that he was going to change. And Lloyd was there to go and check out Anya. Thankfully, this is a proud daddy moment. He finds out that Anya did just enough to pass on her own, and Anya ends up placing 213th place overall, but she did it on the merits of her own studious dedication, which is a lot for her growth. Like, I felt really proud of her. I was like, yeah, hell yeah, you go, girl. 213, let's go. Get a figure right here. Put a tattoo, 213. So I felt really proud of her in that moment as well, as I'm sure Lloyd did. Even though she's awful, she sucked, but it could have been a lot worse, and he didn't have to go and actually change anything. He just validated that, hey, she messed up, but not quite enough to fail. She did just enough to pass and scrape by on her own, though, which is very important. Damien ended up placing 11th because Lloyd changed his questions back. And then our girl, what's her name? Laura, Lucy, whoever, I forget what her name is. Whatever, if you asked me last week, I would have remembered. But Anya's best friend, she ended up placing 42nd overall. And that's basically, in a nutshell, the episode, and I think this was a fantastic episode. I was really enjoying it. I laughed a lot at the beginning. I laughed at all of Anya's different expressions. It's like each week she discovers 2 or 3 more expressions that she can do. I found it hilarious with all of the Damien stuff. I found it hilarious when Anya was snickering in class and she got given more homework. I found it hilarious that Bond ate all of the cookies and basically almost passed away. I found all the expressions from Yuri being quite funny, and then obviously all the daybreak stuff was very funny as well. So overall, another hit. It's very hard to put a score on. I say just overall 9 out of 10. This was a very solid episode. Definitely entertaining. The entertainment value was unparalleled. I was definitely entertained the whole entire episode, and I love seeing Anya's growth in the most hilarious way imaginable. So those are my thoughts. We won't take up too much time. Those are my thoughts this week. A lot didn't happen, but a lot did happen. But like the main thing, Anya's growth and Anya's weakness were made evident to us as a viewer, and I think that is very important. And she did really, really well this week, so I was very proud of my girl at 213. Let me know what you guys thought of this episode down in the comments below. As always, I appreciate you guys being here, and of course, my friends, have an amazing weekend, and we'll see you next week. Peace.